Frustrated and fed up, ministers retaliating again in an escalating trade war with Donald Trump.
It is an existential threat to our country, and we will fight for every single job.
Canada launching its second round of counter-tariffs just hours after Trump hit Canadian steel and aluminum with 25% levies.
The excuse for those tariffs shifts every day. The only constant in this unjustified and unjustifiable trade war seems to be President Trump's talks of annexing our country through economic coercion.
To fight back, Canada now exerting more pressure.
25% reciprocal tariffs on an additional $29.8 billion of imports from the United States.
Those Canadian counter-tariffs targeting U.S. aluminum, steel, and dozens of products, like American computers, smartphones, tools, jewelry, and sports equipment.
We cannot let uncertainty become the new certainty in North America.
Ministers also sending a message directly to Americans, urging them to push their elected officials to make Trump back down.
This is going to increase the price of construction. This is going to increase the price of car. This is going to increase the price in the defense industry. It will put thousands of jobs at risk.
All of this unfolding on the same day Canada's new Liberal leader met with workers at a steel plant. Mark Carney preparing to become Prime Minister and take over this economic fight.
I'm ready to sit down with President Trump at the appropriate time under a position where there's respect for Canadian sovereignty, and we're working for a common approach.
Already, Carney sat down with Ontario's Premier and posted a video online. Doug Ford later saying he thinks Carney will have a better relationship with Trump than Justin Trudeau.
I think they're going to get along very well. They both come from the same financial sectors.
How Mark Carney handles Donald Trump will be his first big test when he takes office on Friday.
And Ashley, Doug Ford, as well as Canada's finance and industry ministers, are off to Washington tomorrow. What have you heard about that meeting so far?
Well, Adrienne, they're expected to sit down with the U.S. Secretary of Commerce, Howard Lutnick, and his team. The finance minister says the focus is on trying to get the U.S. to remove its tariffs. And if that doesn't happen, he's threatening to ramp up countermeasures in 3 weeks as the government struggles to put an end to all of this tariff turmoil.
All right, not over yet. Ashley Burke in Ottawa. Without prompting, Donald Trump again shifted his attention to Canada today, mocking Ontario's attempt to tax energy exports. And as Katie Simpson shows us, his dismissiveness was followed by even more threats.
Thank you very much.
The U.S. president digging in, vowing to push ahead with his tariff agenda no matter what.
The United States of America is going to take back a lot of what was stolen from it by other countries.
These latest Trump tariffs welcomed by some in U.S. steel, hoping American products will gain a competitive advantage, adding a boost to the industry.
Everyone downstream, to guys like me and all the processing centers, all the rolling mills, it's going to support U.S. jobs.
But pushback abroad is growing. The European Union imposing dollar-for-dollar retaliatory tariffs, targeting a wide range of American goods, including alcohol and farm products.
Tariffs are taxes. They are bad for business and worse for consumers.
Donald Trump doesn't see it that way. As he prepares his next round of tariffs, starting April 2nd, he'll hit countries that have tariffs on U.S. goods or have policies he deems unfair.
Canada's absolutely one of the worst.
In a meeting with the Irish Prime Minister, Trump repeatedly attacked Canada, singling out Ontario Premier Doug Ford after his on-again, off-again energy surcharge.
I said, this will be one in 1 hour. And they announced what we were going to do, and they withdrew their little threat.
Less than 24 hours earlier, Trump had called Ford a gentleman. Now his allies are lashing out.
You know, he thought he'd be sort of the big man and tackle Donald Trump, but you know you can't tackle Donald Trump.
All of it sparking more Canada annexation threats.
And as the president said, they should consider the amazing advantages of being the 51st state of the United States of America.
From an economic standpoint, he says if they became the 51st state, we wouldn't have to worry about the border.
On his way to Canada for a foreign ministers meeting, the U.S. Secretary of State was pressed on whether annexation would come up.
It is not a meeting about how we're going to take over Canada.
The Trump administration's threats about making Canada the 51st state are only intensifying, as it appears this trade war is about to get worse.
Okay, we should talk about the next round of tariffs. Those are the ones that are starting April the 2nd, right?
Yeah, mostly tariffs aimed directly at countries. But on top of that, Trump says he'll also target specific industries, the auto sector, pharmaceuticals, and semiconductor chips. And he's leaving the door open for even more, pushing back against arguments that his plan is all over the map, saying it's just because he's being flexible.
So confusing. All right, Katie Simpson in Washington, thank you.
Thanks.